The LAPD goes, oh, I don't care about that because there's
so many.
There's so many. They don't have the authority to enforce it anyway. It's a taboo subject. LA is woke. It's like no benefit to them to enforce immigration. You might find some cops that are like they bleed blue.
Does it depend on the cop?
It could depend on him too, because he could bleed blue and be like, this guy's here illegally. I got to contact the ICE. I'm gonna call ICE. Right.
So because it comes down to the person then, for the most part.
It definitely could come down to the officer discretion as well. But like in general, a lot of the times they'll tell them hands off, depending on the PD. Like San Antonio PD, for example, they think you're illegal. They're probably gonna call immigration or whatever because like it's a red state. They understand that a lot of these guys are involved in nefarious activity, drug traffickers, whatever. You'll have a higher likelihood. But then you go, a couple miles up north to Austin, Texas, they're not touching it.
Interesting. Yeah, I see. That's all so interesting to me because I've never actually asked any questions. But like everything you said is like someone could fact check you, all that.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is like you're not going to see a lot of this because a lot of this stuff is like on the job experience. Like, one of the things is like, there's a lot of federal agents that like, oh, I've been on the job, whatever. But how many arrests did you do? How many Title IIIs have you ran? How many search warrants have you done? Like these are like the real questions I ask to see like what the really done. Because a lot of FBI agents, DEA agents, whatever it may be, home HSI agents, we're all the same. We're all 1811s in the job series code, especially the same. They haven't made arrests like that. They haven't done. So like one thing about me that I pride myself on is like I made arrests. I've hit the news many times on my cases. I've done all different types of crimes. Like I've worked with like almost every agency. So like I have a very good grasp on like how different agencies work, the federal laws, how search warrants work, etc. Like the whole Diddy case, I broke that down too. I anticipate he's going to be indicted somewhere in the next year for sure. 100%. Dude, for them to get a federal search warrant in different jurisdictions, tell me that number one, they got informants, 100%. And then number two, it's very difficult to get a search warrant on a house federally. Very difficult. So the fact that they got it, because people don't know, when you go federal prosecutors have a lot of leeway and a lot of discretion on what they want to take and what they don't want to take. Feds don't take cases unless they're going to win, and they damn sure don't issue search warrants unless they think they're going to lead to a charge.
Who are the informants? Other musicians?
People that have been in the house. So it could be other musicians, it could be housekeepers, it could be. I guarantee Cassie probably gave some good information.
Oh
right?
Yeah, she started that whole lawsuit that I guess
she started the lawsuit. I guarantee you, she was probably one of the first people because it was actually the agency I used to work for that did the rates.
Who's Cassie?
One of his ex-girlfriends.
Okay.
Yeah.
She came out with that song, "Me and You."
Bitches ain't, man.
Yeah, they ain't, bro. But I guarantee they went to her first, interviewed her. She probably provided a bunch of information, identified other people that they go talk to. Those people talk. They say, hey, yeah, I've been to his house before, XYZ. You got a bunch of people saying the same shit about the same residences. That's all probable cause. Write it up. Get a search warrant in 2 different jurisdictions.
So if you had to bet, if you made bets on this and you gambled on this, because I know you love gambling.
Come on, bro.
I'm with you. Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah.
Because he'll troll me. He texts me. He's like, we're going to gamble after. I'm like, yeah, it's a joke. Yeah. It's a joke, bro. I know.
At least I don't promote it.
I'm not a gambling man, but I would anticipate that you will see charges sometime in 2024 or early 2025.
For what?
On P. Diddy. Probably for human trafficking. The prosecutors that
what the that motherfucker doing human trafficking?
Okay, so this is how the feds do this. When it comes to human trafficking, a lot of the times, it's not like what people think. They're in a cage and they're being held against their will. A lot of the times when the feds come in and it's human trafficking, 9 out of 10 times, the person was underage and they were being like prostituted. Right? But if the person is under 18, they can't consent. So it's automatically federal, especially if they're moving state lines like he was. That's how they got R. Kelly.
So he's underage kids.
Yeah, because I think some of the victims that they're alleging were underage. And I think that's where they probably got a majority of their probable cause. Because the feds come in a lot of times when there's underage people, and they're being moved, affecting interstate commerce is what it's called to trigger the federal effect. But they're being moved from state to state for the purposes of some type of sex.
There's probably so much evidence on camera too.
And then you got a bunch of people. I know for a fact they got informants. I know for a fact that like these people that filed the lawsuits probably also are providing information. Then there's other people that provide info. I mean, dude, they got in Trump's house and they had pictures. How are you going to get pictures like that inside the house? Like housekeepers and are coming forward, and people, whoever that have access to the home.
Selling like the Epstein, like selling sex with people, like underage people.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like you know, I've heard from a couple of people in the music industry, like that's how they compromise you. Just like have you do some weird and like, all right, yo, as long as you do what we say.
But as an adult,
potentially, we don't know. We don't know.
so crazy, man.
You know, like,
That whole thing's so.
I just wish the
interesting to me.
people that see the clips of Myron kicking out girls, I wish they would hear some more of this about his background as a Fed and like his
Yeah,
information
yeah,
like
yeah.
this.
Well, that's why I want to type. When I started here, because like I know that you've talked about these things, and I know that you say like
Just
you're.
doesn't go viral.
Yeah, it doesn't go viral.
Yeah, it's boring shit
That's what I'm saying.
to
I've
them.
only seen little bits of it where like I know that you said that you've done this,
yeah.
and then that's it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you never see all the detail behind it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, dude, I could talk about this. That's where I talk about my other channel, Fed Reacts. But like, yeah, dude, like,
It's super interesting to me
yeah,
because like you started talking about it, I was like, oh damn, I really want to know about this.
yeah. Like, like for example, like with the FBI, right? Like, you know, the only thing, like with the whole Trump case, right? Like, the only thing that concerns me with the Trump case is like, I think the state case is the only one that concerns me, which is good because now they kind of postponed it. Well, was the classified documents case in Florida because they did a search warrant, they found the documents there, and they're like, oh, well, he could declassify them. Well, it doesn't matter because I did a case like this before. Anytime you deal with national defense information, basically military information, it doesn't matter what the classification is. It's considered NDI, and it's not supposed to be outside of certain places.
What does NDI mean?
National defense information?
Okay.
So whether it's, you know, confidential, secret, top secret, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter if it's classified. If it's NDI, it's NDI. I did a case like this back in like 2014. You can Google this shit. That's why people say, Myron, you didn't even do. I can Google case and show y'all that I've worked on it. There's this guy. He was like shipping like F-14 schematics, right, from the United States. He used to work for Pratt & Whitney and Rolls-Royce, so he had access to this stuff. He was an engineer. He was shipping it to Iran, even though it wasn't technically classified. It's considered NDI, and we were able to charge him under the Espionage Act for that. And that's what they're going after Trump for. 18 USC 793E.
So they're saying that he's citing. You're saying that the whole thing is like he could basically be giving this information somewhere. That's what the whole.
No, their issue was where it was stored, at his house. It's not considered like a
safe
secure
storage,
location,
a safe place,
or a skiff or something like that. So information like that shouldn't be there.
But the problem sounds like it lies in more if it goes somewhere else.
Yes, yeah, like it's crazy that they charge them with espionage, but they look at it like, since it's not where it's supposed to be, we don't know where it could go, so we're gonna hit you with espionage, right? And people don't know, like the Espionage Act, like it's one of the few federal crimes that like you could get hit with like life or death for that. A famous case, he just recently died, FBI agent. He sold secrets to Russia.
They could give you
Robert
a death
Hansen.
penalty for that.
Can, depending on like the classification, how much you gave away. One FBI agent, his name is Robert Hansen. He got busted for selling secrets to the Russians. He got life in prison. He just died recently in Colorado. And
You can get the death penalty for what? Treason?
Yeah, for like espionage, yeah, treason. Could be considered treason. So yeah, man, it's like serious stuff. But like that's the only thing that concerns me, because my thing is, if Trump needs to get in and I think he could pardon himself
For that.
Probably. I'm hoping he can. I don't know, but presidential pardon is a real thing federally.
That's a good loophole.
So he could pardon himself if he
Imagine.
gets in. And they delayed that documents case. That was the only case that I was worried about. That I was like, okay, they could maybe get him on this, because it's kind of irrefutable. It's like you had the documents, they're NDI, they're at your house.
I see.
See what I mean?
But they did push that back. The whole, like, didn't they push his shit back? So it's like he will.
Yeah, it's delayed. The case is being postponed, which is good.
That
Gives them more
sounds
time.
like a W.
That is a W. That is being postponed. But that's the only case that I think has any real teeth. The January 6th thing, you can argue.
But how could you get that postponed?
Because he has the New York trial going on right now, and he's running a presidential campaign. So his lawyers did a good job of just getting it postponed.
Wow. You think that would be the one that they'd want to go after the most then?
Yeah, because I think that's the government's strongest case against him, because that's kind of open shut, classified documents. Because I've done one of these cases before, bro. The documents you ain't supposed to have.